When you hear the word accountant, what's the first thing you picture? Come on, be honest. It's probably a single person, maybe buried under a mountain of spreadsheets, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that stereotype is just completely wrong. See, accounting isn't a solo mission. It's a full-on team sport, and every single player has a very specific and very crucial role to play. So, that brings us to the big question. What does an accountant actually do? It seems so simple, but the real answer is, well, it depends. Because the truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all job description. The role of an accountant can be totally different depending on who you ask, and, more importantly, what problem they're trying to solve. And that right there is the key, the thing we're really digging into today. Accounting isn't one job. It's a whole collection of specialists. So you've got to forget the idea of the lone wolf with a calculator. Instead, I want you to think of it more like a championship sports team. Every single player has a unique position, and they're all essential for winning the game. Now, to really make this idea click, we're going to follow the journey of a fictional company. Let's call them the Acme Widget Company. By watching how these different accounting specialists help Acme deal with its challenges, we're going to see exactly what each one brings to the table. Okay, first up, let's look at the public face of the company. These are the accountants whose job it is to tell the company's financial story to the entire world. We're talking everyone from Wall Street investors to your next-door neighbor. This is the world of financial accounting. These are the folks who put together the official standardized reports, the income statements and balance sheets that get sent out for everyone to see. For our Acme Widget Company, these reports are absolutely critical. They're what investors look at before they buy stock, they're what banks comb through before they give out a loan, and they're what regulators check to make sure everything's on the level. The absolute best way to think about it is like this. It's the company's public report card. It doesn't tell you what's coming next, it tells you the story of what's already happened. Did Acme have a great year? How much debt do they have? It's all right there, a clear historical record for the whole world to look at. All right, so that's what the outside world sees. But what about all the big decisions being made inside the company? Let's pull back the curtain at Acme Widgets and see how their leaders figure out what to do next. And this is where managerial accounting steps in. These accountants are kind of like the company's internal strategy team. They aren't making reports for the public, they're creating custom analyses just for the CEO and other leaders. Their entire job is to answer forward-looking questions like, should we build a new factory? Is that new marketing campaign actually paying off? It's all about using data to make smarter choices for the future. And a super important specialty within that field is cost accounting. These people are the efficiency experts. Their mission is to figure out the exact cost of making one single widget. And I mean, they get obsessed with the details. The price of every last screw, the cost of every minute of labor, even the factory's electric bill. And why? Well, it's simple. You can't set a profitable price for something if you don't know exactly what it costs to make. And right here, you can see the fundamental difference laid out perfectly. Financial accounting is all about reporting the past to outsiders. Managerial accounting, that's about shaping the future with insiders. One is focused on transparency and playing by the rules for the public. The other is all about strategy and making the company better. They might start with the same raw numbers, but trust me, they are playing two totally different games. Of course, you can't have a game without rules, and you definitely need referees to keep everything fair and honest. In the world of accounting, this role is absolutely non-negotiable. So, let's meet the rule keepers. First, you've got tax accounting. Now, this might sound simple, but it is an incredibly complex, high-stakes game. These specialists have to navigate this constantly changing maze of tax laws just to make sure Acme Widgets pays exactly what it owes, no more and certainly no less. If you get this wrong, the penalties can be huge. Their whole job is to keep the company safe and compliant. And next up, we have the true detectives of the financial world, the forensic accountants. When the numbers just don't add up, when money seems to have vanished, or when you suspect fraud, these are the people you call. Their job is to dig deep, follow the money trail, and uncover the truth, no matter how well someone tried to hide it. So you can really think of these two roles as the company's guardians. The tax accountant protects it from the outside world by making sure it plays by the government's rules. And the forensic accountant, they protect it from the inside by hunting down fraud and misconduct. You need both to keep the company's financial integrity intact. All right, so we've met all the key players on the team. We know their positions. Now for the fun part. Let's see how they all work together to run a winning play out in the real world. So how does this all actually work? I mean, are these people just stuck in their own separate departments? Not at all. In reality, their work is like a constant handoff, where the analysis from one accountant becomes the critical starting point for the next. Let me walk you through a perfect example of this teamwork in action. So, it all starts with the cost accountant who figures out that it costs Acme exactly $10 to make one widget. Okay, that number is then handed off to the managerial accountant. They take that data and advise the leadership on a pricing strategy. Let's say they decide to sell each widget for $25. Then, at the end of the year, the financial accountant steps in, tallies up all those sales, and officially reports the company's profit to the shareholders. See, it's a perfect relay race, with each specialist running their part of the track. So, as you can see, every single one of these disciplines is an absolutely irreplaceable piece of the puzzle. If you take even one away, the whole financial picture becomes incomplete, and you just can't rely on it. To get that full picture of financial health and efficiency, you need this whole team of specialists all working together. It really is the ultimate team sport. So, I want to leave you with this final thought. If your company was facing a huge financial challenge, who would you call first? Well, after today, your answer should be, it depends on the challenge. If you're trying to figure out where to go in the future, you need a managerial accountant. If you have to report on what you did in the past, that's a job for a financial accountant. And if you think something shady is going on, well, now you know exactly who to call. It all comes down to picking the right player for the right play.